Welcome back to Booze, Bros, and Cars, your favorite podcast about booze and cars, and we're your hosts. I'm Eric.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Nick.
And today we're here in a very special place. We're here at Labelle Brewing Company in Labelle, courtesy of Garret and Corey. Introduce yourself, guys.
So, I'm Corey. I've been the head brewer for Labelle Brewing since we opened, December 2019.
Okay.
Going on 5 years.
Wow.
And it's been really good out here.
Nice.
We're the only craft beer brewery in Labelle and in Hendry County.
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Kind of captured market out here. It's only 10,000 people at any given time,
But for the look of
Hey,
your
you
tap
know
room
what, though?
downstairs,
we got them.
it's going well.
For sure. I like it.
You guys discovered the drive out here, so
Yeah.
You know, it's not bad. It's not the closest place in the world, but at the same time, it's about 35 minutes, 40 minutes. So
Shit, man.
not terrible.
For me, it's only 20. This is the
Yeah.
first time I've ever been here, which I'm kind of ashamed of myself because, dude, I've driven by here.
You're here now.
Yeah, and I've driven by so many times, but I'm going to Orlando, Sebring, Miami.
That's
like,
true. This is the way to go.
Yeah,
It's like
State
one
Road
stoplight
80,
that way.
straight to 29 or 27, and then it's just a straight shot from there. So
Right.
I definitely gotta come back here more often.
Sebring or North Orlando, it's
Oh yeah.
avoid I-4 at all
Oh yeah,
costs.
it's
Yeah,
still much worse,
absolutely.
man.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed from living in Southwest Florida, it's like everything seems to be at least 30 minutes. So
Oh, yeah.
to get out here, it's not the stretch that a lot of people make it seem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so-
not that bad. Pretty uneventful drive. You know, it beats sitting in traffic like I do every
You're
other
going
day.
15 miles, but you're actually moving.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Compared to
Nice.
I-4 when it's like a freaking standstill
Orlando,
for like.
Yeah.
or even Colonial Boulevard.
Oh my god, yeah. it's
Yeah,
like
don't even get me started on Colonial.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Garrett, tell us
So-
about yourself.
I'm Garrett. I'm the production manager for Labelle Brewing. I've been involved with Labelle since summer of 22,
Nice.
so almost 2 years now. So I came
And
in.
your production's up, so
Yeah, must be doing something right.
all right.
Yeah.
So we've, it seems to be month over month comparison to last year. We're up every single month, so
That's right.
it seems to be good.
So the major goal is drink less than you brew.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, well, I could.
We do our best, but we make a lot more than we can drink. Fortunately, there's some left for you guys.
Yeah, I say we'll help.
Oh, yeah.
We'll help.
Perfect.
Our production tanks are 20-barrel tanks, so it's more than one person can consume.
Yeah. Well, you know,
And survive.
and survive. Yeah, let's put that disclaimer in there. But
Yeah.
nice. Well, thank you both for having us. Obviously,
Yeah,
I know
coming
it's we're out here on a Sunday. By the time this podcast hits the internet, it's gonna a couple days from now. But appreciate you guys coming out on what would be
Absolutely.
your day off,
Right.
chatting with us a little bit.
And on that being said,
Well,
Corey, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to
man.
Corey. His birthday's tomorrow, so he's here joining us for a little birthday festivity.
Turn 38 tomorrow.
Ah, nice,
man.
nice.
It's all over. It's all downhill.
Yeah. I'm actually I'm hitting
No,
that
that's 40.
milestone
That's
in
40.
about
He's
3
got a
weeks.
little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm actually hitting that milestone in like 3 weeks, man. So I'm right there with you.
I know. I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you.
Hell yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cheers to that, man.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I seem to have drank my other beer, but I'm gonna get started on this this flight here. So, Corey was kind enough to pour us a little flight of their beers. Obviously, we did a little bit of a pregame, and now we're gonna get to try some of his specialty brews. So, Corey, before we get started, why don't you run us through what we're gonna be trying today?
Well, we're going to start out light, sit and stay. It's our light style IPA. Sort of session-y, juicy, but got more backbone, refreshing, easy. If you like hops, this is your boat beer.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good.
Know that beer very well at this point.
That's
Very well.
that's
So it's
insanely
good in the
light.
Southwest Florida Market
Yeah.
and docks.
It's incredibly light for an IPA.
Oh yeah.
But all that flavor there is though they're
Heavy dry hops. This is a triple dry hop. Essentially, it's a triple dry hop blonde ale.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's got all the flavor from the intensive late additions.
Call it what you want, I like it.
Juicy, crisp, yep.
And it makes you want to sit and stay, right?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, something like that.
That's what it's designed to be, like an outside beer, so.
Right. Fits the
Yard
bill.
work, garage, boat, beach. It's kind of what it was
So
designed
could
for.
that be the new all-day IPA?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
for all
Highlight did
intents and
their
purposes.
beer high-low pretty much the same time as this was coming out. We were, had that brain idea wave pretty much together.
Okay.
Obviously, they get a lot more traction than I do, but,
Well, I
this
mean,
beer is very good too.
when you, by
Very
the time
good.
you guys got started, their foundation was already a little bit more built,
They've been-
so,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, a little uphill battle there, but I mean,
So,
what you did with it though is phenomenal, because we always talk about it, like, one of our go-tos when we go to Sebring, we always talk about all like IPAs, we always do the Founders All Day IPA, and it's a great lower ABV all-day IPA to drink, I mean,
This
it's
one's
phenomenal.
on the juicy side compared to Founders All
Yeah,
Day.
the flavor of this is just phenomenal. So, I mean, something like that to be kind of a replacement for that all day would be just awesome.
I mean, it's along the same flavor profile lines.
Yeah.
Light, lower ABV,
It just
mildly
feels-
hoppy, really, really balanced.
To me, it's got a
So,
better
like,
mouthfeel. It's just
yeah.
a smoother, fuller mouthfeel, which,
It's
For sure.
something we can accomplish on the craft side.
Yeah.
Big, better than
yeah,
Zero
no,
to
definitely
Right.
that
Yeah.
kind of
Showers.
fit, finish, and polish on it is awesome.
Yeah. Sierra Nevada is really good. I love, like, I've got family that lives up in the Asheville area, and their brewery is like, my one sister lives maybe 10 minutes away, the other one lives like 15 or so. Have you guys been to that facility?
I've been a few times.
Oh man, it's so impressive.
Yeah,
last
it's-
time I was in Asheville was 2020 and
Yeah.
everything was still
Oh,
hit or
yeah.
miss.
Right.
Gotcha.
For opening after COVID.
Yeah, I was up there in November. Spent a bit of time drinking some beers in their tap room. But
Oh,
yeah, they have
okay.
an amazing facility.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely
All goes
huge.
well, go up there next month for a little Ford event plus an anniversary event for me and the wife, and that's part of the plan. Is Eric's been like adamant that if nothing
Yeah.
else, we have to go see Sierra Nevada
Yeah, dude.
and do the whole tour thing and whatnot. But then between that and who else do I want to see?
Well, you got to go to
Burial.
Burial.
Yeah.
Burials
Burial.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I ordered beer from them a
Good
few,
waste of
and
time to go to
oh, dude, we ordered this one. We ordered. I don't think that's the wrong way, guys, but we ordered this one beer from there. I ordered 3 bottles, and his parents picked it up and brought it down. They came back down, and I couldn't tell you the name because they got crazy ass names.
Yeah,
but
they do.
for me personally, I declared it my favorite stout ever. I mean, it was just absolutely magical. So I'm kind of intrigued to kind of dive into some more of your stouts now. That being said, I am drinking. Shit, what was this one?
Rip Van Twinkle.
Rip Van
Rip Van
Twinkle.
Twinkle.
This thing is awesome. I was telling them, man, that
Really
I feel like I had like a Werther's caramel or something like that. Like it's just that flavor is so up front on it, and then like there's that grain finish that I get. It reminds me of like help my wife before we were married and stuff, like feeding her family's horses and stuff like that, like out there and all that grain dust kicking up. I could like smell it and taste, and it gives me like a nostalgic feel. It's awesome. Like it's crazy,
That's
but
interesting.
yeah.
Every time we mash in, I sort of get that grain.
Yeah.
dust
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
in the face.
Yeah, so for me, not having
I
had
know
horses
exactly
in
what
years,
you're talking
so
about.
yeah, it's a nostalgia for me because I haven't been around the horses in so long. But yeah, no, this is phenomenal, and I want to finish it, but I know that's going to really cover up anything else.
It's
Yeah.
been almost 2 years in Knob Creek Bourbon Barrel.
Oh, nice.
Oh
A lot
wow.
of the
That's awesome.
caramel and mouthfeel is coming from the barrel too.
Yeah, yeah, that's a phenomenal imperial.
Yeah, I actually had the Waiting for Winter? Dude, that was so good.
Spice, Belgian
Yes,
Bell. I
yeah.
put that out sort of fall, winter,
Mm-hmm.
and still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Drink more.
not
so it comes
everybody's,
up.
Yeah.
not everybody's into a spice Belgian, but
Yeah, it's really good though. I actually really enjoyed it. Actually, it would be cool to actually release it like around like July time. So it's like, hey, it's like Christmas in July or
Christmas in
whatever.
July, yeah.
then we might sell
It's a
out
big-
by winter.
That's a
Exactly.
bit, yeah, right? That's true.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to have a spiced type of beer, something a little heavier on that side of things for.
Yeah.
It kind of fits the
People
bill
like
for that time of
it,
year.
you know, yeah, it's that time of year also, people are sort of starting to drink the Marzen styles, the Ambers, getting into the darker stouts.
And that's the thing, like me and my wife always talk about it since we've moved from the north down to Florida. We've been here 11 years now, and it's like you're looking for things to give you that wintry feel, that autumny feel, because we don't get it down here. We don't get the change into the trees. We don't get the temp drops.
You've always
every
refused to
year
go
I get a
pumpkin beer, I
pumpkin
feel like.
keg or Warlock. Every year I get one. You know, so I mean, if you guys ever decide to do so, I'll drink it.
The last brewery I was at, I did a small batch, and I roasted like 2 giant pumpkins in my home oven, and everybody loved that beer, but it was too much work to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But
So no pumpkin spice beer for the basics.
sad.
Well, Nick's pretty basic, so you know.
he's-
There's so many good ones that are out there already. I don't need to compete with those
That's
guys.
true. Yeah.
They only
That's
sell
true.
for, like,
Go a
2
different
weeks in
direction
October
to-
every
yeah.
day, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Totally get it.
brew 300 gallons instead.
Right,
Sell 2 6 barrels.
for sure.
Probably
Yeah.
a good decision.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Probably a good business decision.
You know, that's just my justification for my personal position.
No, I get it, man. And to your point, there's a lot of pumpkin beers on the market. There really are. You've got the ones that have been around for years that have kind of become staples, and then you still have breweries that are trying to filter theirs out there and play with the big boys. And it's like some of them are really good, but are they ever going to gain traction like some of the big
I
ones?
released it in October, and I still have it in March.
Yeah.
You know, it's not doing its job.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that makes a lot of sense.
That's true.
for sure.
Yeah, because some of those beers we do kind of have to time with season.
Yeah.
as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Everybody knows how seasonal Southwest Florida is. You get to summertime, it's your regulars every day. It's
Right.
like the same 3-4 beers. So we use that time to kind of build up stock going into fall. But depending on when people actually start arriving is kind of when you see that shift to
Thank
trigger
goodness
everything else on the
our
menu.
production manager actually looks at the numbers. Oh, you need a batch next week? Oh, shit.
So kind of with that being said, just because like, you know, most of us rely on the Fort Myers, Lehigh, and Cape Coral area, we don't venture out to Labelle that often. Like, how do you see the seasonality out here? Is it similar to us where we see that big uptick into like,
Monster.
okay.
Yeah, because
Is it really? That's
we
surprising.
get a ton of the RV crowd.
Right.
So
Okay.
around
Because it's a
this-
main thoroughfare. I mean, like we
Yeah.
talked about
so
already.
Main thoroughfare is part of it. I kind of view that separately. The RV crowd, there's RV parks everywhere. There's
Yeah.
a massive one going up on 80 through town.
Yeah.
Passing that in, yeah.
So when they start arriving, that's really the big uptick for our tap room here. State Road 80, going back to the thoroughfare part, the town of Labelle kind of, you don't see a lot of the major companies coming. Like there's rumors of a Wawa coming, but a lot of these major corporations, when they look at it, they only look at the town of Labelle,
Yeah.
which you know it's 8 to 10,000 people, but they discount how much
How
cross-state
much traffic, yeah,
flows through
absolutely.
this town. And it's insane. It's just, and that's year round. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, it gets insane during you know,
Right.
the season, but so that traffic a lot of times gets discounted. So we don't always get you know the Wawa bail. There are this wooded lot right across the corner. I know the viewers can't see it, but that's going to be a Culver's. They got the permits done.
Right.
They brought in the construction offices. So it is growing.
Yeah.
But sometimes LaBelle does get discounted a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think people don't realize how close it actually is to
Yeah,
Fort
yeah,
Myers,
it's true.
Capes.
It's a small town, but there's a lot of people that drive through it. So,
Yeah,
you
but
know, it's-
we do well with a lot of motorcycle clubs, car clubs. It's like, hey, we want to take a day trip. There's a group out here 2 weeks ago. They had taken, it was like a McLaren, a Ferrari, a couple
Oh, nice.
Corvettes. They had gone to Sebring for the day, so they stopped here.
Oh, that's cool.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Bike groups. The Corvette Club is a regular out here on the
Right.
weekends.
Well, it's like we've already talked about. I mean, it's kind of a nice drive. I mean, it's a straight shot. There's no traffic. You know, you got pretty much open road, kind of country scenery. You know, there's not a lot of big
Really,
buildings.
Once
and
you hop
stuff,
off
so-
75 and get on the 80
Yeah.
there, like for just the way I was coming from, it is
Yeah,
For
once,
sure.
once you get through Shores and past Buckingham
Yeah.
Road,
Oh,
it
yeah.
opens up,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, we're moving, we're rolling now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so anybody watching, come drive out to Labelle. Check out
Yes.
Labelle Brewing Company. Check out the town. It's an awesome town. It's small. It doesn't take you long to get through. But there's a lot of cool stuff out here. There really is.
You even go explore Fort Denald and stuff and
Yeah.
see some of the history
Oh, yeah,
and
for
whatnot back over there too. But
We got blueberry picking going on in this town.
Yeah, that's true.
Just
That's
was out
true.
there yesterday with my family and
Nice.
got blueberries ready to go in the beer.
That's awesome.
So,
okay.
Blueberry beer is returning. It's coming
I
out.
like it. I like it.
The old purple nurple.
Purple purple.
That's awesome.
That's such an
Hell of a
awesome name for a beer.
Let,
it really
let me tell you, one of the most difficult things in this industry is naming beers.
I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah.
It is, especially for my brain. Like I'm more on the like number side, and like my brain doesn't think that way. Like for me,
Yeah.
naming beers is like the hardest thing for me to do.
Yeah. I bet. Well, you got what, over 3,000 breweries still in the U.S. You know,
Yeah, so-
and growing. You know, you got some that fall down, new ones open up all the
And
time.
we'll
so.
come up with a name. Corey and I will. We're like, oh, this name's awesome. We'll look at it on Untapped, and it's been used like 4,000 times. Like,
Yeah.
this is garbage.
Yep.
Can't use that. So.
Jeez.
well, it's good to have those resources to kind of check and see how that name
Yeah.
is working out there.
Right.
But, I don't want to associate with that.
Oh,
But,
this is
that's a good
trademarked? Oh,
association.
man.
Yeah. But
So, what did you guys think about Sit and Stay?
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the sit and stay was great. I mean, I think I made that pretty clear right off the rip. I mean, the overall
Goes down
mouthfeel
real-
of it, the
real
finish
easy.
of it. I mean, everything on that for me was a phenomenal lighter IPA. Something I could easily sit there and drink multiple of while I'm working on the car, cleaning, whatever I'm doing, around the house, trying to forget that I have children for a little while, whatever the case is. I could easily sit there and drink a handful
Well, it
of
is
those.
available at ABC and Total Wine and Cape. So.
Well, that's good to know
there you
because
go.
I've got that ABC right there. So,
Yeah, the new one is not that far
Yeah.
away from your house.
yeah, like
so
that's a
there you go.
worthwhile replacement to my. I mean, I know Vin Diesel says, you can have any beer you want as long as it's Corona, but that's a pretty good replacement.
It's not gonna fly out here.
Yeah,
That was back when Fast and the Furious was still kind of cool, though. So,
we're going OG, man.
Let's
We're
not
going,
go down
we're
that
going
rabbit
old school
hole.
with it, but
so Corey, what's the next one out of this that we need to try?
So we got an interesting flight. Out of this, I'd probably have you go to Bon Journée. It's a white wine barrel aged saison. So complex. It's oaked white wine, so it's got a little bit of tannin, but it's got some refreshing tang to it also from the acidity of the wine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you can.
it's like a Chardonnay beer.
It's
pretty
really
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
well, and
that's
you
really
like drier things, so this
I
is kind of like
love
this
an
is-
oak
this is
Chardonnay,
pretty-
so this
is
for
pretty
me is
dry.
like up my alley.
Yeah, the,
right,
the base
It was
beer
a
for
French
that.
oak, white wine Chardonnay barrel. So
Nice.
Exactly, you nailed it.
That's really
Yeah,
good.
the base beer for that was called Bon Nuit, and it's a saison, and kind of French naming. So a lot of people don't know this, but Labelle translated in French means the beautiful. So it was a saison beer. Bon Nuit means good night. Sat in a barrel for this was a year and a half,
Oh,
2
wow.
years.
Bon Nuit is our non-barrel aged version.
Right.
Which was, our base saison. This one went into 2 white wine barrels and came out as Bon Journée, which is good day.
Yeah. So instead of good night, it's good day. but
Nice.
It's kinda,
That's awesome. Flavor profile is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's,
sit.
it's heavy on that wine flavor, but
Yeah.
I really
True
enjoy
style,
it.
clean saison, so it's got
Yeah, no, that's
sort of European style hops, saison yeast, and then it hit with the French oak Chardonnay barrel.
yeah, that's
Nice.
That's good.
that is
That's nice.
heavily on my alley, man. That is phenomenal.
So while we're drinking this, I wanna ask you guys a question. Obviously, this is a podcast about booze and cars. We're not quite to the car section yet, but if you had to pick, I'll start with you, Corey. What is your favorite beverage? What is your favorite alcoholic beverage?
Double
If you-
IPA.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
This is my first brewing medal. I go to other breweries and I drink their double IPA first.
Nice.
I go to double IPA.
Right.
And then if we need to finish off with a nightcap, I'm going American bourbon.
Okay,
Ooh,
all right.
Nice.
Talking our language.
I'm in for it.
Hell yeah. Garrett?
How about you?
I didn't know we were going that in depth.
Oh yeah, no, we're putting you on the spot, buddy. We gotta know. The viewers have to know.
The truth comes out when you're not prepared for it. That's how this works.
Currently, I would say currently.
Of course.
I love sours. Really.
Okay.
So I could drink sour beers all day. So that would be my go-to in the beer category.
If you're a brewery and you don't have a double IPA,
Yeah.
you're losing a stock.
I do.
That's fair.
I'm drinking a double IPA too. I love double IPAs. I do a lot of cooking, so my second round, I stick with red wine.
All right.
Okay.
Dude,
So I drink a lot of Chiantis. I'm on that Italian kick.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm me and the wife, big Pinot Noir. It's like our go-to red. Like we are same kind of thing, kind of, big foodies. We love cooking. Like I grew up in an Italian family, so a lot of cooking and stuff like that. And it's funny, like you mentioned, like you go to a brewery and you try double IPA. That's like your thing. I go to a new Italian restaurant, chicken parm. Every time I go to a place for the first time, that's my barometer. That's how I test something,
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool, like we don't talk about food a lot, but like we are big foodies as well. But it's pretty
For sure.
heavily like alcohol and car related. But it's kind of nice to hear something come up and the reason being food related because we're good for that. We're out cooking with some wine.
Oh,
Get a
I
glass
love
too
it.
and
Yeah,
pour my glass too on, So we do the same thing at my house all the time.
Absolutely.
Usually more goes into us than it goes into the dish, but it
I think that's
turns
the way it's
out great.
supposed to be,
Yeah,
pretty
no,
sure
I mean,
that's how
cooking
it
is supposed to be an experience. It's not supposed to just be like, making a meal, put it in my body, and move on. Like, it's supposed to be an experience.
It's an event. It truly is. That's how I look at it. It's it's how I like to think we produce good food is because it's more than just a necessity. But,
Well, all of those answers line up to pretty much everything that we've talked about on this podcast so far. Double IPAs. These guys, I can appreciate that a little bit more. I feel like these guys go down kind of a rabbit hole on our podcast of like crazy pastry sours, pastry stouts.
Oh, you say these
super
guys.
sweet,
Corey
super
loves
sour,
pastry stouts.
things like that. Now granted, I enjoy them too, but I can appreciate a really good. I feel like there was some sarcasm there, but I can appreciate a good IPA, especially a West Coast double IPA, because there's not a lot to hide behind. There's obviously we're in the trend of New England IPAs, and I will appreciate a good hazy IPA. I really can.
So I actually
You're going
have.
so fast. I had
Yeah.
one first today.
Yeah.
Got to do one, at least one every year. So
Well,
Got that one out of
it's
the way.
fresh.
I had that one pre-order too. It's a West Coast double IPA coming. That's the Avenged Sevenfold collaboration. It should ship by the end of this month out of Orange Beach. So I'm just waiting for that to hit.
Just a
So,
brewery. Yeah.
while we're kind of bullshitting here, I'll tell you, I ordered it through because if anybody hasn't noticed, I'm a large Avenged Sevenfold fan, to the point of a tattoo, and I walked down the aisle to seize the day of my wedding. So that was kind of that. Let's see.
huge
It
fan.
was. Yeah, I've got many issues. You'll find out the more you talk to me.
Yeah, he ventures down a lot of different rabbit holes.
Yeah, between that and the Harry Potter stuff and Norse mythology, I'm all over the place.
How did we all get together?
Cars,
That's a great
honestly.
question. Honestly, it was cars. So back when we all met, which was going on, what, a decade now? Probably.
Yeah, pretty
Damn
much,
near a
yeah.
decade. We all met because
been
we
a decade.
technically all owned the same car at the time. So we started off in a Mazda
The
Speed
Mazda.
3.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
yep.
remember your
So
Mazda.
we all owned Mazda Speed 3s, and we all kind of got together. The wives came with, and and we had, well, technically the wife owned.
It was my wife's car, technically.
So anyway, that car and that car club kind of brought us
By
all together.
definition only.
Yeah,
Hey babe, can I take your car to the car meet today?
pretty much. Yeah.
No, I had to force her and get her into the whole idea.
Yeah.
And we met our core group of friends now.
Yeah.
I mean, we all hang out. Mike was actually the best man at my wedding. Like we all got really, really close. We hang out more. They're for a good time there was a fourth one of us here, but for some work-related reasons, law enforcement related, he had to kind of step back and be very careful with some policies for social media and stuff like that. So like he'll still be a part of it when we do some of our vlogging and things of that nature. But that's how we all kind of got grouped up. I mean, and the way it worked out, like Eric doesn't have any kids yet, which lucky you. But like the other of us, like we had like one of us had a kid, and then another one had a kid a year later, then I had a kid a year later, and then our seconds all came in a 2-week span.
Oh, wow.
All 3 wives got pregnant in the same period of time, and all kids were delivered within 2 weeks.
What were
So,
you
like,
doing?
Hey, don't worry
I
about
don't know, man. The wires
Don't you
must
worry
have
about
synced. They must have synced up. I don't know how it worked out, but it worked out kind of crazy well. So like I had my son, and then you had
Wait, you
yours.
didn't work-
Or no,
you
yours was
backtracked this
third.
already?
Brody was last.
Yeah, so
my son
yeah.
was
Was
last.
it a race or was
It
it?
just,
Dude,
dude,
It's
Yeah,
honestly,
super.
it was just dumb luck.
It was
Like
one of those-
all of our firsts are spread
Yeah.
out over like the course
2
of-
years. It was basically a year, and a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mine being the
So
oldest.
basically
and
8,
then-
7, and 6
yeah.
right now. So
So
yeah,
it
just
really,
was weird.
really weird how it all ended
Yeah,
up.
I think it was one of those. Like we were the first ones to find out, being that we were about a week to 2 weeks ahead of everybody else, and it was one of those like, hey guys, like we're having our second, and all of a sudden I got text messages
Oh,
back.
so are we.
Yeah, that's what it was. I got text
You're
messages
not
back like,
gonna
oh, hey,
one-up
so are we,
me.
so are we.
Yeah,
Like, it was weird. Yeah, it was,
I'm having
it
a
was-
kid too.
2 weeks early.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. But I'm trying to still figure out that brewery. It's Four Sons Brewing.
Four sons.
Four Sons Brewing out of California.
California. We have 3 sons in Florida.
Florida.
3
Okay.
daughters.
3
Yeah,
dollars.
three daughters.
3 daughters, yeah. Yeah, all I know was it popped up on my Instagram feed for Avenged Sevenfold and in my one of my groups that I'm in for the NFT that I bought for Avenged and stuff like that.
I just wonder
and I was
what
like, I gotta get on this.
Avenged Sevenfold's relationship with Four Sons is. But maybe
Well,
you do some
they're-
research on that. Come back to it.
I'm assuming they're based out of
Same town.
Long Beach. I think they're all out of Long Beach
Ah.
is where they're from
Got ya.
or something like that.
Like brewery
One of those.
owners in the band.
Yeah. So
Brew together or something like that.
yeah, I'm sure they're just all it's a locality thing for them. But
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Beer number 2, Bonjourne, was delicious.
yeah,
Very
that's
tasty.
Really, really good. You get a
Didn't
lot of
win
that
a medal
barrel
this year.
flavor. Let's go to beer competition. What are you doing?
Sorry.
So that it was really, really good. I got a lot of the barrel from it. It was definitely a little on the drier side, but
was,
the
yeah.
saison, the flavor from the beer came through pretty well. So I really enjoyed that.
dude. I just feel like I'm drinking like a hopped oak Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah,
awesome.
It's really good.
It's
Yeah, it's
awesome,
really
dude.
good.
Like for me, that is just phenomenal. Like I was talking about the sit and stay, but this may have trumped it for me. So I'm gonna be interested as we kind of go through the
we're
rest of
going
this.
up.
Well, where are we going from here then? Obviously.
We're gonna go dark on this one. We're gonna
Okay.
do,
Okay.
Sort of an Americanized Schwarz beer. It's a German black lager.
Nice.
This is
I
gonna
am a lager guy. Being in the beer industry for as long as I have been, I forayed into all the different styles, but I've gone full circle all the way back to lagers. So
We got rich mouthfeel. We got all
yeah.
the dark malt from the
Yeah.
black lager. We got some American hops in there, so it's got a little bit higher ABV and a little bit higher IBU than German Schwarz beer. But we're here in Southwest Florida. It's party time, so
Yeah.
kicking it up a notch.
That's really good though. I actually really. I'm
Super
really good.
smooth, very clean profile.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
This is our palate cleanser of your flight, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Move into
Tasty ass
Sorry,
palate
no
cleanser.
loaves of bread on it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, where's my,
Where's my
ginger?
ginger?
Where's my
Yeah,
ginger? I
no.
need.
Yeah.
No, that's
from,
damn.
from here, we're going to move into high test.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Well, this is really good, and it is a nice palate cleanser so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Should we talk about cars a little bit? Probably.
We
This is
can.
also an automotive podcast.
We can.
So obviously,
What
Garrett,
you
I
guys
know.
bring today?
What do we bring?
Yeah,
Well,
what are your cars rolling today?
They're kind of normal.
Eric.
Well, I
So-
brought my Corvette. I'm not part of the
Oh, I'm not-
the Corvette Club, the Southwest Florida Corvette Club. They're
It's low key. Just bring
As
my
much as we
Yeah.
try, we can't get him to buy a set of New Balances. We're trying.
Or jean
We're
shorts.
trying.
or
We're
jean shorts. Or
Yeah.
jean shorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta be white New Balance.
Yeah.
They gotta be white New Balances.
Maybe
I know, I'm
even a
like-
little grass stain's okay, but
Yeah.
Well,
car
not
is
only are you
Converse
not
right
not part of that, but you also go out of your way to piss off that actual group,
yes.
Yes.
which
yeah.
is also
Well, I
hilarious.
mean, I have to ask. So, like, what day of the year was it built? What color? How many were produced that day in that color?
Okay, so
You know this.
so I
hard questions right there.
so I don't know. It's Le Mans Blue, and I don't know. But to his point, yeah, like my Corvette, I wanted to be like the anti-Corvette or like the anti-boomer Corvette.
Love
So I actually have stickers on the back glass that says anti-boomer Corvette Club.
Did you
And-
debadge it?
No,
Everything?
I didn't badge it. But I actually just got a sticker a couple days ago, and I put it on the back bumper, and it says, "Please be patient, student driver." And I've already had a ton of people like. I can see me in my rearview mirror, or like when I'm driving through like a shopping center, and they're all staring at the car, and they're like,
Oh my
and-
God,
And
I
you can see
drifted.
them pointing at the sticker, and they're like laughing.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, and it's funny because like I'll be at a traffic light. It was like yesterday when I was driving home from work, and I look in my rearview mirror, and this guy is like looking at my car, and he's like pointing at the sticker, because like my brakes lights are off because like the car sticks, and I don't sit on the brake, and he's just like laughing, and he's like pointing at his girlfriend at the car. And I was like, okay, cool. And I just like fucking took off on the red light.
You see him go. In the
Yeah.
background.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like I want my Corvette to be like the anti-boomer Corvette, because like everybody that drives it, to your point, they know what day it was built, how many were built of that color, the color. Oh my god. How many
Eric
were
really
built for
knows.
that year?
This is one of
Yeah.
474 produced on Tuesday, April 13th.
Yeah.
Pearl white.
Yeah.
This one is special because the seats are a different color than the
Yeah.
dashboard.
In Eric's case, Eric knows how to make it go vroom and go sideways, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah, I've gotten it sideways a couple
I
times.
ordered my truck that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that's what I brought out. I took it out of my. It's been sitting in my garage. I realized for like a month now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you haven't
been a
driven your
while.
Corvette in a
I've
while.
not driven it, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stretch out its legs. So I took it to work yesterday, and well, I had to work yesterday and Friday, and I'm just gonna drive it for the rest of the week, and then we're heading up to see me and Nick. Actually, you're driving up on Wednesday too, right? to
Yeah, it'll be,
Sebring?
it'll be Wednesday
So,
night. Though.
yeah, so I'm gonna take it up there. I'm doing the Corvette corral, doing the parade laps and stuff. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, you're gonna go out,
You
parade
still didn't
laps
say
on
what
track.
year or what
Yeah.
motor you got.
Oh, it's a 2006, and it has a 6-liter LS2 in it. That I do know at least.
Yeah.
Sweet.
What
Make
year
some noise.
what year and day the engine was built? I have no idea.
We also know it's got a little bit of a funky clutch situation right now too.
Yeah,
You got,
well, you know, we learned that at
there's,
the drag track in Bradenton,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But.
Yeah.
I drove my boring car, my Hyundai Elantra Sport.
I'm shocked. I expect to see the Miata here.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. I was going to drive the Miata, but for one, it's getting hot in Southwest Florida. We've had a pretty chilly winter so far. It's getting hot. Sun's out. My AC still doesn't work, so everybody roasts me on that. Everybody roasts me on that already. Still don't have working AC in my Miata, so
Keep roasting him about it, too.
I know, it needs to happen.
Just get the squirt can, man.
Yeah,
We've
Ryan
done
just-
that a couple times, I think.
So I have there's a leak going on somewhere, but anyway, I was gonna drive that. I actually took my son for a little drive yesterday while the girls were, my wife and my daughter
Saw
were
that,
doing
saw the
something.
pictures.
So took him out for a little cruise, but drove the Elantra today. It's got air conditioning. It's comfortable. Whatever.
The
So
funny thing is that he calls his Elantra the boring car when the Miata
it's
is the
decently
slowest one.
quick. It's decently quick. So it is
Quicker
a
if somebody got spark
2018.
plugs in the JB4
Well,
test,
well, I'm gonna get there. Hold on. So it's a 2018 Hyundai Elantra Sport, and it doesn't really mean much because at the time it was probably the quickest Hyundai to come out, other than the Veloster. But it's a Hyundai. They don't. And now Hyundai's really stepped up their game. We've talked about it in multiple different podcasts now.
between
Now
the
they have
Sonata N-line
their
and the
N
Ioniq
series.
Ns
They have an Elantra N now, which is kind of a badass car, but it's not that much different than mine, so I haven't really decided to
But it's
just commit
faster
to.
than your Miata.
There's not a whole lot that isn't faster than me, unless you're talking around an autocross course, and then it's a whole different story. But
Don't get me started on that.
yeah, so anyway, my Elantra's done me well. I didn't drive it a lot for several years, but I'm having to drive it a lot, so I'm piling the miles on it. But I do have a tuner that Nick was so gracious to give me from his previous car, his Genesis that he got rid of. So I'm just waiting to
Yet
put
to
that in
install
there. Just gotta another Hyundai basically. So just gotta replace some spark plugs, convert over to 93 octane, and then I'll probably gain, I don't know, 50 to
You'll get a nice
60 horsepower.
Yeah,
I would
the
say.
extra PSI. in
So it'll
that
probably
turbos.
be in the 240 to 250 range at the crank. So
Was it
nothing.
4 or
fast.
6?
It's a 4-cylinder, tiny, 1.6 liter.
Well, at least you can get the spark plugs.
They're very expensive though. I can get to them, but yeah, it's wildly expensive how much like good spark plugs cost.
How much?
For my car, it's like $180
What,
Yeah.
for 4?
for 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like
they're
30, $35 a
NGK.
piece, I think.
Yeah, something along
Yeah,
those lines.
they're specific like
120,
iridium
130.
laser plugs because the problem
Yeah.
is when you put this piggyback on it, it fools some of the sensors. One of them being like your general boost sensor. So it increases the boost by fooling this, and literally the amount
you have
of
more
additional
spark.
air can blow the spark out. So
Yeah.
you have to buy some pretty hefty plugs in it. I had the same problem with my G70 when I had one of the 6-speed manual G70s that they didn't make a lot of, and I could never, for me, it was just kind of laziness, I could never get the gap to stay correct, so I'd still get a random misfire every now and then, but the power increase was awesome. So when I got rid of it, I'm like, dude, just take this thing. You're gonna have a blast with it. But
Sitting in my garage, ready to go.
yeah.
Nick, I'm gonna segue though. Nick brought the interesting part today.
Yeah, I
which,
brought the fun
yeah,
car,
Our viewers know
which
exactly
we've
what
talked about
you
it
know.
plenty. But I brought the '97 Nissan Cedric Gran Turismo Ultima, which is just my newest.
long-
I know.
long name.
Well, we call it the Cedric GTU is kind of what I've found from some of the forums now. Basically, just shorten it all up. But it's just a V6 turbo, right-hand drive, big body sedan from Japan. Just
See,
good
I'm
old
gonna
JDM stuff right there.
interrupt though, because when you say big body and you talk 1990s, that is smaller than literally
Yes.
every other car
Yes.
produced these
But-
days. My Elantra is probably bigger than that car, and you call it a big body.
Maybe. Well, because they
Probably.
also made the Leopard and the SEMA, which were a little bit bigger and offered a V8 option as well. But
I feel like we've talked about that though in previous
Yeah,
podcasts.
yeah,
How every
yeah.
single car manufacturer has just gotten bigger.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you look at
Oh, yeah.
long-standing cars, like Toyota's one that I always bring up is like the Corolla. Like, look at how much bigger a Corolla is now than what it was in like the 80s or 90s. It's just insane. I mean, there's more airbags, there's more speakers.
well, and
there's
the,
more...
like the idea is you look at the Cedric and you compare it to what it was competing with back then, which was things like the Toyota Crown, which over here we had as basically the Lexus LS and stuff like that. Big sedans, 7 Series, S classes, and now you look at those today, and those things are massive. Boats
Well, I mean,
cars
even
and-
compare your car to a Nissan Maxima, and it's like you could fit your Cedric inside of a modern Nissan Maxima, like within inches, probably.
I gotta line that up and see how that looks, but you're probably not wrong. It's gonna be pretty close because those things are so big.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You look pretty low coming in though.
And I don't
compared
have
to those cars.
I don't
It's
have
not
the
even lowered
coilovers on
yet,
yet.
yeah.
Yeah, the coilovers are on order, so that's
Yeah.
it's gonna go lower. But there's like just massive amounts of wheel gap, so we're gonna take care of that. But wheels are on. That's the most important thing, and whatever those weird Chinese or whatever tires that were on it are done and gone. So it's drives significantly better just from a simple wheel and tire swap. So excited for that.
So, yeah, you gotta do it. Well, you gotta do an alignment after you put the coilovers on.
The car was pulling a little bit to the left when because I drove it, because this guy decided to buy a car on an auction.
Georgia.
And the auction was
the
like
closest one.
The private buyer was in Georgia, so I flew up to Atlanta, took an Uber like an hour away from the Atlanta airport, and drove it back 9.5 hours or 10 hours for him. And
That's
it
a
was,
good friend right there.
Yeah.
And also like a really cool trip for a weekend. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty,
it was a
that's
cool
pretty-
trip.
Yeah,
But
trust me, I was very upset that I couldn't do it, but
Yeah.
due to
Yeah.
work reasons.
But it was pulling a little bit to the left, like when like the whole way down. It's not bad. It's not like the steering wheel was like this the whole time. It was more like maybe like 5-10 degrees maybe.
It's 27 years old, sir.
That's true.
I'll get there.
We'll get
Don't
there.
worry.
All right, so you brought up a good question though, because obviously this is a podcast about cars as well as it is about booze and beer. So, what are you guys driving? What is your daily? Do you let's segue
you have
into
anything fun?
into you guys. Everyone that's might be watching this has heard about our cars. They haven't heard about you.
I only have one car. I
All right.
bought a 22 Tundra, brand new. I ordered it actually. It's
Nice.
Army Green TRD.
I've seen it.
Nice.
4x4.
Yeah.
It's the only green Tundra that's in the
T-
parking lot.
TRD
So-
Sport or Pro? Is it Sport or Pro?
It's TRD SR5. So it's
Okay,
not
so
a, it's
TRD
not a
offer.
Pro.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let me ask. So the Tundras now, does that still have the V8 or is that with the new twin turbo V6?
Twin turbo V6.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
phenomenal. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's the best vehicle I've ever owned
Nice.
by far.
Have
That's
you
awesome.
ever owned an F-150?
No, but I've driven some
Coming
new
from the
ones.
Ford guy. Over here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I work for Ford. Sorry.
I drove a 22 F-150 EcoBoost, but the
Yeah.
The Tundra V6 has got.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
juice
lie,
going.
man.
That's what,
I
one of my
like.
sales guys got himself into our Power Boost, which is our hybrid version, just like that.
I couldn't
and
afford it.
And that's it, but he left from Chevy. And he was like, "Dude, I love this thing. This thing's amazing." He's like, "I'm done with Chevy forever. This thing's great." So it's crazy to hear more and more truck guys going to the hybrid versions of these trucks because they've got more power and they tow just as much for the most part. So it's like
Well,
it's crazy to see that change.
Like, if you want a Ford though, it's like you go to Ford's website and you build it, and you would think a Super Duty would come standard with a diesel. It doesn't. It's $10,000 right off the bat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Diesel.
Yeah.
So by the
Everything's
time,
an option.
Like by the time you get into it, like if you want to build a Super Duty that's a diesel, you're right off the bat. You're looking at 70, 80 plus.
Oh, it jumps up real
It's
quick,
insane.
real quick.
Well, it's good to know. I mean, we've
I
talked.
drove one. I didn't get to drive Power Boost, but I drove
Yeah.
an EcoBoost. And truck's got it
Oh yeah.
for the moment.
Yeah.
The Power Boost, it's got a little more performance than the Tundra without the.
I'll bring my EcoBoost out one of these days. We'll have a little fun.
I'm not gonna lie. The
It's not an F-150,
Tundra
so-
has the looks over a Ford. Sorry, Nick. The new Tundras look so good. They really do.
They do. They look sharp.
They're phenomenal looking trucks. So
It's so good. It's highly recommend it.
Yeah,
Nice.
they look damn good. I worked for Toyota for a little bit, so I'm not gonna knock them either. But yeah, I do drive a EcoBoost daily though. So.
Someone's gonna.
I'm
twin
surprised you didn't
turbo
drive that
V8.
today, actually.
Someone's
It's-
gonna twin turbo Toyota V8 sometime.
Oh yeah.
It's-
It's already.
Or-
I'm
or
sure it's already
supercharge
happened.
it,
Yeah.
Or supercharger. I
Or
feel like that,
supercharger.
that,
That's
yeah.
even better.
I thought about bringing
it's
the
gotta
XT,
be
but it just seemed.
what is it, the
Nissan's
Kenny Bell
thing.
style that's got that supercharger one on it. It's, oh
Mhm.
man, I love that supercharger one.
Yeah,
It sounds so badass.
But now, Garrett, my understanding is you're a bit of a car guy as well. So what's the fleet look like, buddy?
I'm a car guy that doesn't have a fleet.
Wow.
So I drive my dailies Audi Q5 Quattro.
Nice.
We've
Okay.
had it since December 2019. But for commuting, it works really well. 'Cause, I mean, it's car chassis,
Yeah.
great gas mileage. I've always been an Audi fan.
This guy knows a thing or two about Audis too.
Yeah,
The only
I've
German
heard that
brand.
episode of the past.
The only German brand that hasn't burned me.
Yeah, while you're up.
I've had good luck with all my Audis, so it's
I've had good luck with Audis.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable working on Audis.
Sure.
Have all the software.
These
Yeah.
things are going
like
down
back
pretty
comm, all
quick.
that.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the nice thing too. At the end of the day, you're basically people are like, oh man, they're so expensive. It's like they're Volkswagen parts, which okay, maybe that's a little
Yeah.
bit more than like say a Chevy or a Ford part, but it's not that bad at the end of the day. And that's,
yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed my time with the brand.
Well, yeah, because you can cross-reference parts from Audi to
Yeah.
Yeah,
Volkswagen. You can
Yeah,
just
they're all
get it.
cross stamped. They're all. I mean, it's yeah. As far as the German brands go, it is probably the most affordable to get into from a long-term ownership perspective. They're all pricey up front, but from a long-term ownership perspective, I would say the overall cost of anything from the Audi line, until you start talking about anything R related, RSs, the R8s, stuff like that, but just your normal stuff, even some of your S's are just relatively easy to
And
maintain and work.
I would put Quattro up against any all-wheel drive system
Oh,
there is.
hands down.
It's
I love
like
both of
there.
mine.
I've been in so many situations where like if I didn't have Quattro, I would just been
Yeah.
screwed.
Yeah, they make a phenomenal
Yeah,
all-wheel drive
it's-
system. I think that trumps the X-Drive almost any day of the week in any situation, but
Yeah.
again, that's
Yeah,
just,
so I'm constantly on the lookout for what I want, because like what I desperately want is a project car.
what you want,
I know,
sir,
we've
is an
sort
07
of talked
RS4.
about
That's, let me live vicariously through you, because I did the JDM thing at this group for the first time, and I don't know how, because I was shopping for RS4s. I was even shopping for
RS4.
Okay, well,
Why not go RS3, slightly smaller with the 5-cylinder?
because I can get a stick shift in RS4 with a V8.
That's true.
Honestly, I was shopping for
Oh,
an
you're
RS6.
talking old. You're talking older
Yeah,
RS4.
I was shopping for an RS6, and I just can't find any sub
See,
95
my
grand, so
buddy,
I'm just out. But
best man at my wedding, we were friends since like second grade, but he was a long time Audi VW tech, and so like he would just buy and sell cars all
Yeah.
the time, and he had an RS6 for a while. It had the V10 in it, like that thing
Yeah.
was nasty.
yeah, those are wild, man. They screw.
But I'm
They
just-
sound so good.
I'm trying to couple like having a project car, but I also have a commute to deal with.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
Trying
I'm in
to
the
figure
same.
out
I'm in
like
the same boat.
it's like it's trying to figure out that combination. It's like, all right, what could I daily, and then what would be the project? Do I want the project and the daily to be the same thing?
To that point, like him and I were kind of in the same boat. Now he jumped on something randomly that we had no idea was coming. Like it just happened with this Nissan Cedric.
I've talked about the Glorias before.
Yeah,
I feel
but
like,
it, like in passing. But anyway,
Yeah.
let me finish my point. So we've talked about this as being dads, and having a commute to work to and from, and it's like I wanted a Corvette for the longest time. I've been very open about it, very vocal about it. This guy beat me to it. It's good for Eric. But now that I look at it from the outside in, I still want one, but it just doesn't make sense. Like I gotta almost have that backseat because my kids want to go with me.
Yeah.
My daughter and my son want to get in the car. They want to go have fun. They want to go for a ride.
That's the problem
And it's
I have
hard with a 2-seater vehicle because what are you gonna do? Then I'm gonna have to pick a kid.
Yeah.
I like you better.
Well,
You can go with
that's
this
the
stuff.
weird situation. Like when I had my
it's
99
tough,
Miata,
man.
it was the same kind of thing. It was like everyone would be like, let's take the black car,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
hilarious
it's-
because I got rid of that and then I got a black Nissan Cedric, and now my daughter's like, can we take the black car today to drop me off at school? Like, because
Well, it's the same thing with my Miata.
so
It's like it
weird.
just happened to work out that me and my son were the only ones home yesterday. So I was like, let's take the
Well,
Miata
and
out
you've
for a
got
little
such
bit, right?
a hell of an example of a Miata.
Well,
I
it-
mean,
it is
I
a
honestly, I
pristine
still kind of regret getting rid of my 99 for how clean it was, but I was gonna hack it up and turn it into a track car, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. I sold it. I was like, I couldn't do it.
Phenomenal, minus the things that we ruined on it, but we won't even.
I only sat on the headers with a torch once, and my
welded my exhaust, which
yeah.
is a little janky.
Hey,
but anyway, we're not going to talk
no
about
leaks.
So
There's no leaks on this
I
car.
understand. Back to my point is I completely understand where you're coming
By
from.
welding-
You want to have a project car, but you want it to also be practical in what you're doing every day.
Yeah, because
So,
it's
Nate's made it up to our.
Oh yeah. All
Oh
right,
yeah,
so-
I'm sorry. I just kind of
black,
kept going.
Black Tie was awesome. I am
Yeah.
a lager fan. I love a good Schwarzbier. I love a good German lager. Super good. Definitely got a lot going on the malt side of things.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's good beer.
Really well balanced though. So I
Like
super
I'm,
enjoyed that one.
I'm
So,
not
yeah,
a big.
Take us into our
yeah,
last.
I'm not typically a big lager person, but like I grew up outside of Philly, so like Yingling was like our go-to up there, man. There you go. So like I grew up there for 20 some years. So like Yingling was our go-to, and I've never had a lager that I can think of that dark. That shit was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like that
Really good.
maltiness, that roastiness, like that was phenomenal.
So clean.
Yeah,
You don't
like
get
everything I've drank so far is just a clean finish, no funky. Mentioning funky, we've had some issues in the past with like funky aftertaste and stuff like that, and the chemicaliness and everything so far
Can't say it doesn't. have
from
it,
this
but
from the full pours I've
We're
gotten
hard
to
to-
this stuff is just been great. Great
Yeah.
finishes, clean finishes, no weird aftertaste. I mean,
Yeah, I
very
can
much
agree with
appreciate
him.
it.
Honestly, like all the beers that I've drank. I mean, obviously, I pre-gamed with a couple beers before we started shooting the podcast.
Yeah.
So this one is the Cowboy IPA, really freaking good. Like I said, I drank the Waiting for Winters, which is really good, and then I had the oh my god, what was it? The Milkshake IPA.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that was what
the
was-
utterly
Utterly
hazy.
hazy.
Yeah, the Utterly Hazy. That was really freaking good. I really enjoyed that one.
Utterly Stout is our.
I need to try
milk
that one.
stout.
I need to
so
try that
that's a sweet
Yeah, try that.
version of a stout. It's just sort of classic 2-style, 5% range.
Yeah.
And so
Nice.
we took a different direction on this one, but we're keeping with the lactose theme.
Yeah.
So it's our Utterly, but it's hazy this time. We did
Yeah,
a
it was-
style IPA.
We sub-branded it essentially.
Oh, nice. But yeah, everything is to Nick's point. Everything has been really good. And dude, I live 20 minutes away. I need to come here more often, man.
Food's bomb too.
I
Dude, when
I
we walked
did-
down the stairs and I smelled it at the first time we were
Yeah.
setting up, I was like, "Oh my god, this smells amazing down here!"
Yeah,
I
Like,
don't have anything to do with the kitchen, but
yeah,
I did
everything
have
I've-
I did have the chicken sliders. Those were super crispy, really freaking good. Really enjoyed those.
Yeah.
And I also had the pierogies. Oh man, I'm
yeah. Like I'm gonna need
Well,
to eat
and
something
see,
before I drive home. So
I guess let's
Pretzels,
talk about that
correct.
for like a hot second. Is I mean, how many other breweries do in-house food in our area? Like,
None.
nobody.
around here, no.
Bone Hook is with Naples.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
So that's it.
aside from that-
Everybody else operates off food trucks,
Like,
primarily.
In all the
so.
places I've been in, even on the other coast, like the only one that comes to my mind right off the rip is Funky Buddha, all the way in Fort Lauderdale. They have an
Yeah,
in-house
there's
kitchen,
there's a
but-
few, like, if you go up to Tampa, you got Coppertail.
Yeah,
Coppertail's
like
got
we
in-house
I did
food,
Coppertail a few
there's
months
a
ago
few,
and
but,
stuff
like
like that,
here
but
in our area, Southwest
No.
Florida,
it's all food truck dependent.
Yeah, actually, Tripping Animals has a very, very small kitchen on the side.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
'cause I didn't
you
make it when I
guys-
was there.
You guys haven't gone.
I hit invasive
Yeah.
species instead of tripping animals when I was
Yeah,
there last
I've-
time, so I didn't make it.
I've got family in Miami, so like I head down to Miami like every so often. I'm hoping really soon I can actually start going there more often just to hang out with my cousins and stuff. But Tripping Animals has some good stuff. But even as good as that brewery is, to the next point, there's been a couple beers that I'm like, I'm not a big fan of these. But everything that we've drank so far, it's solid, man.
We're in a rural agricultural community.
Yeah.
I need to keep my flavors kind of mainstream,
Yeah.
dialed in. Can't get too experimental.
Yeah.
The rednecks out here just.
Well, I'll say, of the 6 beers I've now tried, between the tastings and my pre-gaming stuff, like, all of them are, like, on point.
Yeah.
You got no funky aftertaste or chemicaliness, like, just clean beers. The flavors, whether they're subtle or strong or very much up front, very noticeable. I mean, just everything is well balanced. So whatever you're doing down there is awesome.
Appreciate that.
Awesome.
So you mentioned funky. Let's talk about.
Well, here's our sour.
Let's talk about the funky
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
you heard my concerns earlier. I enjoy this. I actually like this, and I'm not. My wife is a huge sour person.
We don't
I
know
am
what it is
usually-
yet, though, Nick.
I'm just saying.
Let him.
You need to try it. All right, yeah, you do your thing. Do your, yeah, do your thing, dude.
I know he's already.
It shocked me so much. I was just like, holy shit. Like, yeah.
So, tart, dry Belgian Tripel. So this is our sour Belgian Tripel. This is heavy traffic. This is a springtime seasonal for Labelle. I do a year-round Belgian triple. It's called Peregrination. It's sort of our owner's namesake. They're the Peregrine family.
Gotcha.
Peregrination is a long and meandering journey. So
Is there a falcon too, right? Peregrine falcon.
and
Yeah.
the
Fastest
falcon,
bird.
the fastest bird in the world.
It's a cool namesake. Yeah.
Yep. And it's on our peregrination labels. We've got a dude holding a falcon, but we haven't put it out in a while. But it's a 10% Belgian Tripel. It's got all the sort of vanilla, apricot, sort of citrusiness going on in the base beer, and then soured it with lactobacillus, and it's super clean, drinkable. 10%
careful.
sour. It goes down real easy and
Yeah.
gets
What-
people in trouble.
That's my problem. I chase some of the high ABV stuff, but like, and my wife will sometimes. And I mentioned to you earlier, like we both love the Coppertail Unholy out of Tampa. And it's a phenomenal beer. It was the first one we got when I got my first kegerator, and it messed me up the first night. But she's a big sour fan, so I've now, after trying that, 100%, this is the growler I'm taking home for her. Because this
All right.
is
Sure,
awesome.
Appreciate that.
And like I said, I'm not a sour person. That's phenomenal. That's
So-
just enough, just right.
I will say, like, the only other sour Tripel that I've tried is the Sour Monkey from Linktree.
yeah.
Mass produced,
Yep.
usually available throughout the country as far as distribution goes. But this is a lot more mild on the sour aspect of it, which I can appreciate. I'm not like a feel it in the back of your cheek, like
Yeah.
super
I agree
super
with
pucker.
that.
Yeah.
You can-
Like I'm I'm just
Face
that's
melting
not
sour.
me. I've never.
Like, I'm not a
never
Sour
really
Patch
been-
Kid, that's one thing, but when I'm drinking my beer, like I'm not looking for
Yeah.
that. And this is
This is
just on
really
the
good.
cusp, and it's just right. Like,
Yeah.
so the idea of a sour Tripel is just blew my mind. I was like, that sounds weird, but now having it, it works. It,
Oh, yeah.
it weirdly works.
And I think this would do really good in a white wine barrel age also.
Ooh, there
Like
You
you
let me
go.
know.
like
You
a
want to do
Blanc
that?
Chardonnay,
Yeah.
I think it
You
would
want
be
to do an
really
oaky
good.
Chardonnay barrel?
so
French
our-
oak
Because this
barrel.
is already what percentage? This is already 10%.
10, yeah.
So after you barrel age it for a year, where would you think?
It's
11 and a half?
anywhere between like 11.5.
So, okay.
11.5
So you're
after
talking
nice.
about this. Is there a chance there's
Year
already a
plus.
barrel aging down there of this?
There is not currently,
Not currently. Okay.
but there very well could be soon.
I
Okay.
was just gonna ask that. Is there gonna be a keg to
I've
be
got,
aging
my
soon?
next, pale beer that's aging is an Imperial Goza, which is a salty sour.
Right.
So that is in white wine barrels downstairs.
Okay.
So we'll
So
probably look to release
that'll be
that later in the spring.
Yeah, I
you
think you'll be
just-
seeing my wife later in the spring then, because that is
You
right
just
up our
announced
damn
that
alley, man.
you're a big sour guy. So what do you? I mean, what do you think of this?
I love that beer, but it's 10% and it drinks like it's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
And
yeah,
I don't use those tasting glasses.
you sample 16 ounces at a time.
Yeah, just sampling pints.
I poured these guys flights and we're
So
not drinking
if-
flights out here.
If I get on those, you're gonna be driving me home.
So you're a professional drinker then?
Sounds like we're doing Uber and the Nissan. Let's go.
I love that beer. It's one of my favorites on
really
draft
good.
right
Yeah,
now.
it's good. It's
Yeah, I've again, I don't hunt down sours, but I can't say I've ever heard of somebody doing a
10%
sour.
scares people away, so it's not a huge seller.
Like
but
who else is doing a
Get people to try
sour
it. Yeah.
Belgian Tripel?
Victory.
That's like that's what I mean. So you've got one major national one doing it, and then you guys. That is again for a typical not a sour person. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I would usually say sour. Nope, turn away instantly, go to something else.
That's really good.
That's strong.
Yeah.
That's in a good way strong. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really good. I don't think I've ever drank a sour beer that I've actually been really, really fond of. Maybe one.
I'll change your mind.
Oh, you've changed my
Yeah,
mind.
I was gonna say yeah.
You've changed
You've
my
got,
mind.
you've got me convinced now.
Now let me interject on that because you drink sour beers, but you also like to drink a lot of like the sour smoothie style
Yeah,
beers.
but you see, I feel like
Yeah.
that's like in a whole different category. Like
You absolutely should be because they're not
can't-
sour.
Eric
Yeah,
likes the
I
sour
don't-
milk.
They're
He likes
not.
sour
I
milk.
don't
It's
mess
not-
with that.
Yeah.
They're good, but it's
this-
like
what he's talking about.
diabetes in a can.
yeah.
I mean, it's like
I don't.
What he's talking
there's
about.
so much lactose and
Yeah.
so much puree and all this other stuff.
Well, think about when Bang did. Was it Bang Energy that did the seltzers? I think it was Bang, but those it was just like you're drinking liquid candy. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't.
it's too much.
Yeah.
And when someone gave it, it was a gift from somebody at work, and I drank
Yeah.
one sip, and I was like, I'm gonna return this gift. I'm sorry. Like, I know you love them. You can have
I
them.
thought you liked
like,
me. Why did you give me this
Yeah.
garbage?
Yeah. So what he was talking about are all the beers from Corporate Ladder, but those are dessert style beers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even classify it as a sour.
I mean, they're literally
because
called dessert station.
They,
I mean,
they they are delicious, but
Yeah,
they're not
but
they're not sour.
They're not sours.
No.
I mean, there's probably been like a couple of them that were a little tart, and it gives you that kind of that kind of pucker kind of feel like on your cheeks. But this is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
it's the perfect balance for what
Yeah.
it is.
Really good.
Yeah,
That's
again,
a flight right there.
I'm shocked.
I mean,
I'm
it is.
still shocked by that.
I will say, we asked Corey to get us all a flight of some things to try, and like you kind of hit on a whole bunch of different styles there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over the
I went
place.
to the corners
Which
of
is-
my board.
yeah.
There's nothing mid-range on this flight.
That's-
Yeah, no, I mean,
And that's
it
what
was-
we were
it was
hoping for.
great.
So yeah,
Well, let's segue back to car talk a little bit. So, we talk a lot about money being aside, no money not being an issue. If you had to, do you want to? We can pause. We do, yeah. Let's pause.
You want to
Here.
pause? Okay, cool.
yeah.
Pause. we can shut all this down.
Continuation.
Ready, go.
You just tell us when we're ready.
No, we're good now. Yeah, they're both recording, I think.
Good?
Yeah, that's recording. That's recording. We're
All right.
good.
So before we step down for the little bathroom break, there,
Yeah.
Mike, you were bringing up, ignoring the financial aspect. What is the dream car, the dream build, something along those lines? Like, what's if money didn't matter?
Money, no
What
object.
would you
What
be-
car and
yeah.
what would you want to do with it?
Yeah.
So maybe I'll take this a direction y'all aren't expecting.
You know what? We like that direction.
Go for it. This guy ended up somehow with a right-hand drive car, which we
A
never
Nissan
expected.
that he hates.
And I bash Nissan, so you can't
It
surprise us too much.
smells like the 90s. I
Oh, we just went out.
Everything about
We
it.
just
Like,
took a
it
little
just-
quick break and we went out and we looked at the
Yeah.
Nissan Cedric together. So.
that door opened. I was
I
like,
know.
this is like my grandmother picking me up.
It's weird.
That's what
My-
reminded me of.
so
And my
my-
grandmother's Buick Century. That's what it reminds me of.
My
Or-
97 Miata smells very similar to the same smells. It's weird.
It's
how
weird.
that
And I
It's
said this
weird.
joke in the parking lot. Like, I'm a Volkswagen Agro fan. I want my shit to smell like crayons. That's what I'm used
The
to.
Marines
So
like that too.
I've got to ask before you actually jump right into that. So are you a fan of the Harley Quinn cars?
Oh yeah, the multicolor.
Yeah, that's like
Polo,
the livery
right?
that they
Was
have
the
like
Polo?
all those crazy ass funky colors.
Where like
and
every
panels.
panel's a different color.
Not my style. I just classic interior, classic colors.
All right. So money being
But,
aside,
yeah,
Clark,
so-
what is your?
I'm
what
not
is your-
gonna. I'm not gonna name a car. I'm not gonna name a build. My aspirations would be if money were no object. I want to own a motorsports team. I want to build race cars. Like,
All right.
that would be my build. Is the motorsports aspect.
That's
So
commendable.
not a personal car in the
Right.
garage.
Right.
All money aside, that's what I would do with it.
So what I'm hearing is someday we may be able to join up and do a Labelle Brewing race team. That's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
it's we're gonna be on B pillars everywhere.
Hell yeah.
Just-
Do you guys have like stickers out or anything like that? Do you guys
We
have
have-
decals?
Yeah, we can throw you some.
Yeah, we got some stuff downstairs.
Because I would slap them on the Corvette right before I do my Corvette corral parade
Do
lap.
it.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
bring some to Sebring.
There we go.
As
Oh,
your
are you going?
student driver?
Yeah,
Are you
he's
going?
going to go Saturday.
Yeah,
He's going
so-
Saturday. Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
I'm coming up for Saturday only this year.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, with
I'm wearing my Sebring
Yeah.
shirt.
There you go.
so
I got one of my Sebring shirts.
my wife is a tax accountant. She's right in the middle of her busy season. Goes through
Gotcha.
April 15th. We have a 15-month-old. I could swing Saturday. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
That's,
this guy will
fair. but-
send you our location where we're going to be camped at.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we bring a little
Yeah.
bit of extra food. So
yeah, I'll bring some
eating
stuff
stuff?
up too.
Yeah, we always we have a shit ton of liquor. That
Yeah.
much I
Yeah,
promise.
you're not gonna be
I bring a
thirsty.
lot of liquor every year
Yeah.
that we barely crack into. But so I got to before we get too off topic, I got to ask, right? So you're talking about you want to build a race team. What would be your preferred chassis? Like what brand? What?
Good
are we
question,
talking
Nick.
R8? Are we talking RS3? Like WeatherTech kind of? Like what are we thinking? Full blown
I would-
prototype. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you want to get the
Yeah.
prototypes. Yeah, I mean, I would.
hey, money's no
Ross.
object.
I would like to get involved with endurance racing, like World Endurance Cup, championship.
I mean, based on your affinity towards VAG, we watch them. We love them every year. Watching the RS3s run. Obviously, that's less expensive than an R8, but those
Yeah, we're
RS3s
talking like,
rip, dude. I mean, they
we're
are
talking
insane.
like the sports car challenge.
Yeah,
and, things
yeah.
like that.
That sounds a little bit
Yeah.
more affordable than a
I
full-blown
would go
prototype.
Ferrari though.
Really?
wow,
That
that's kind of
Ferrari would be
surprising.
the- Okay.
So we just started talking about that.
So not even the R8s. It's not even Audi R8 and the.
I mean, I would love to have
Or
one in
for
my
that
garage.
matter,
I got a spot
Huracan,
for
Lambo.
it.
All
I got
right.
a spot for it. but
I have another question that I'm going to ask, and this is going to spark quite
Yeah.
the debate. I feel like, but why don't we ask Corey what his dream car, dream build? No money being aside, I don't know if you're that big of a car guy, but like if you could buy anything you wanted.
So I'm building. I'm not buying. I'm
All right.
building.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what we talked about earlier. So what are you building?
So, a race team, it's my machine shop. No money object. I'm going to have the CNC, the full metal lathe.
Lathes,
We're doing the thing. We're building stuff. We're building rock climbers. We're building race cars. We're
Oh, yeah.
building chassis.
Full resto mods.
suspensions, just
Nice. Oh yeah.
full on.
Sounds like a like multimatic kind of style.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We're balancing. We're building engine blocks. We're gonna have big bores and no money problems.
Right.
Corey's gonna be out there casting engine blocks himself.
Hell yeah.
I mean, some of it. I don't
I
have
like
that.
Make a
fast.
badass 5-cylinder. That's all I ask.
Five-cylinder.
Yeah, dude. Oh my
Old
god.
school groupie rally style.
5 cylinders
bring-
are like
bring
one of
back-
the most amazing sounding engines.
And part of
Bring
the,
back the
Tanks
V10s
for
at
our
20,000
smooth
RPMs. That's what I
all
want.
right.
some F1 shit right there. Right?
Love it.
Wailing.
So Mike
Alright,
brings up
so-
the F5 too, because I at home, and we haven't mentioned it on
So
the
we're
podcast.
not doing any naturally aspirated either.
Yeah.
We're going.
Compound turbos only.
So in my third car garage, I have an '86 Porsche 944 that will be
Boosted
getting a 5-cylinder
turbocharged.
Volkswagen engine. It's getting
We're doing
a
the
jet
same.
engine
Oh, really?
basically, and I want to boost it eventually.
See, you keep saying that.
And you guys keep
saying it.
you keep getting me to get rid of it,
but
and
yet
I
you keep buying other cars
but
and
I'm
you don't do anything.
buying parts as I go along.
Trust the process.
So
Trust
on,
the
I've got
process.
all new So- calipers and brake setup,
Um,
all new suspension A-arms, all new bushings.
On the
like,
last
it's-
podcast,
I'll build them all for you.
yeah, look,
There you go.
on the last podcast,
Done.
we talked about this dude, and this dude went on a freaking rabbit hole when it came to like the parts for the Cedric.
I have issues, and we've discussed
we
this.
know this. We know
Oh,
this.
is this the one we were
can't
talking about?
keep
I'm just gonna
buying
fly to
parts from
Japan
other
and
people.
fill up this
You have-
crate and fly it home.
Yes,
I
exactly.
did go to
That's
Japan for my honeymoon.
exactly
I'm planning a
it.
trip in a couple years.
For-
I
if
am
this
that
is gonna be
person.
long-term
Yeah.
investment, we need to be building parts in-house. So.
I like it.
You,
I mean,
I like
all
it.
for
I
Well,
like
you,
it.
you guys kind of both went the same direction though. Like,
Yeah.
You know, build stuff, do your own thing. I
He
like
wants
I
it.
just
to
like I
administrate the race team, and I want to put it together.
I just
Yeah.
I jump and it goes back to the project car too
Awesome,
thing
dude.
as well. It's
So good.
every day I jump onto something else. Like, oh, this is the dream car.
So I'm just gonna put this out
Next
there.
week,
You
it's
guys
gonna be-
work for the Peregrine family, right? Technically, the fastest bird in the world. Why can't that be the fastest race team in the world?
It can.
Ooh, that's I like
It
that.
can.
It's just a matter of
I like that.
time.
They're not
just saying.
into the cars like I am.
Yeah.
We can fix that, maybe. If we get them to drink enough before we
Prove
talk
that
to
the
them about
money's there. And,
Yeah, we just got a business plan.
Right.
Drinks first, business plan second. Folks,
But the
what do you guys
problem,
think?
the problem with motorsports is,
It's a
It's a money pit.
yeah, like, no one's making money.
It's not a money
in
maker,
motorsports.
yeah.
So you're winning races.
Even then,
Even then,
even then,
You might
even
break
then,
even. You might break even if you're lucky. but
You,
yeah,
you
it's-
can win every race you want. You're
Yeah.
like,
No,
nah,
you're,
we
you're
might
doing it
break
because
even.
you love to do it.
Yeah.
There was a
Oh,
spec
is that
Miata
Miata?
driving by
Miata?
right there.
Guaranteed.
I was-
going to Sebring.
100%.
100% going to Sebring.
That
I
was a
was,
spec
I,
Miata.
I, I was just gonna say, like maybe they can start off small. Start off with a Spec Miata race team, like maybe 1 or 2 Miatas.
Well,
NASCAR's gonna be getting a
I know a guy
walk-on
that can
next
drive
year
for
from
you.
the Chassis
So,
and the Labelle Brewing
I-
Company.
We don't really fit that well, but I mean,
Really?
I'm thinking
I'll
about
fit.
it.
You should.
I would like to
But they
start
live here
local,
and
do something
have a
like,
farm.
but
We're gonna use some of their.
unfortunately, right
ingredients.
now, there was an asphalt track in Punta Gorda that closed.
417.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's-
3 Palms or 918 motor or
it was
raceway?
yeah,
419, something
but
like that.
it's-
Whatever.
You know, they were leasing land from the airport authority.
Yeah, yeah,
that
right, right.
fell through. Whatever, it's closed. So now, like, my closest bet is running dirt cars out in Clewiston at Hendry County.
Wait, do they have a track out there?
Yeah, where is that at?
A dirt
Because
track, yeah.
I did
because
not
we
realize.
brought this up. My background, I started at 4 years old racing quarter inches clay track.
Oh,
And I want to get my kids into that shit because my kids are young and I started at 4.
There's
so
a
like,
dirt track in Clewiston. It's Hendry County Motorsports Park. They ran.
Look that one up.
Unfortunately, I was swamp cabbage. I was sick, but I came out, did as much as I could. But they were running a late model race. It was like 20K to win.
So
So it's big. Like it's. I think their namesake or their motto is like southernmost dirt track in the U.S.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's big
the
out there,
southernmost dirt
yeah.
track in America.
So their schedule, from what I understand, I need to do more research because I would love to do it. I think they're more like fall to spring, and there's a break for the summer,
Right.
Versus
That makes sense.
most other places start in the spring and in the fall.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
down here, nobody
so-
runs anything in the summer because it's
yeah,
just too
yeah.
hot.
So
Yeah.
I'd like to get involved with that.
Nice.
There's so many things I want to do. It's like pick one and
Yeah.
pick
yeah,
one and
yeah,
fucking
you-
do
you
it.
almost
But
have to dive in.
it's like
That's- yeah.
now like, I sold my motorcycle earlier this year, or sorry, in the last year, just because people can't drive. But
Yeah.
it's like, all right, maybe I'll just get a track bike and I'll do track days.
Right.
And
That'd be fun.
so, I mean, there's 1,000 vehicles I want, and I got
Car
one
guys.
garage
Car guy
spot,
problem.
you
Yeah,
know?
car guy problems, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So actually, it's really interesting that you say something, and it actually made me think about something. So
Before another car.
yeah, right.
I
But
want one of those too.
in Southwest Florida, we're kind of like in a perfect location, right?
Yeah.
Because we can go any direction and we can pretty much go anywhere we want to go. So if
As
we
long as it's north or south.
exactly
Yeah.
north,
Yeah.
well, north, south, and east. So if we head north, we have Bradenton.
What if you want to go west though?
We
You
can't.
can.
we hit
You
water.
just gotta
You can go
swim.
deep sea fishing. You're good.
Yeah.
You're set.
So you can head north and we can go to Bradenton Motorsports Park and the
Yeah.
Freedom Factory. We can head east or northeast and we can hit Sebring. We can hit, what is it, southeast, I guess you can say, and we're at that Hendry County Motorsports Park that you were
Yeah.
talking about. We can go 2 hours southeast to Homestead. So we're kind of like in a good centralized location. Drive time is going to be like kind of a shitty factor. And if
Yeah.
you're into it, if you head, depending on what route you take, you can actually go out to like Orlando Speed World, which they have a racetrack and they have an oval track for drifting.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like in a good spot where you can actually head any direction you want to. And
I
we
just
can
don't.
do
I
anything else with
haven't.
it.
I haven't built up the support system you kind of need either. So it's
Yeah.
like, if like let's say, all right, I got the money.
Relationships.
I'm gonna
with
do this.
suppliers,
Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna build a dirt car. I'm gonna run Hendry County.
Right.
I'm the only person working on that car,
Yeah.
fixing that car,
Yeah.
building that car.
That's
Like,
tough.
I've
That was.
I moved here. My wife and I were supposed to close on our house 3 days after Ian hit, and she was 7 months pregnant. So it's like, by the time we got in the house, she was in the hospital, we had
Right.
a child,
Yep.
and it's like, we haven't really gotten the chance to like go out and
Right.
Then everything
meet
you
other
need to buy in the
people.
world
Yeah.
has doubled in price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
That was, like,
that
the-
that's the struggle for me right now.
Like I was
It's
lucky as a
like-
kid because like my uncle was a Ford Master Tech. My other uncle that was
Yeah.
like my pit crew was another technician, and my dad was a GM dealership. So like we had a parts truck. That's how we transported my quarter midget to the tracks and stuff. And it was like an hour from home, so very similar for me from driving
Yeah.
from Cape to here with a nice clay track, and that's how I got into it, man. At 4 years old, they're like, here you go, here's your fire suit, put it on, get in the
Well,
car.
once again, you
Zip around that
gotta
track,
have
like-
money to race.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
just one of
and-
those-
and
Well,
quarter-
you
quarter
gotta
midgets
have
aren't too
people.
bad, but-
you gotta have
it's-
people. You gotta have the
Yeah.
support system.
If you're the only one
Yeah.
working on the car, it's
yeah,
And that's tough. Like, that's the nice thing for me. Like, my dad wasn't a mechanical person; he was a business person. Somehow, I became a blend of my uncle and my father. I do the business side of things. I'm a sales manager for a Ford dealership, and I also do a lot of hobbyists working on cars, minus electrical, because that shit just is goofy. So for me, like, it'd be great if my kids got into it. Like, I could work on the car if they're the racer. Like, that's just it. But it's like, yeah, finding that thing. And my son's weird. My daughter, she would do it. She was the kid that'd be like, hey, Dad, remember that thing we did when we went from this road to this road and we got sideways in your Genesis? Can we do that again? Yeah, sure, why not? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
she's
We
gonna
put that thing in
love
sport
dirt.
mode, turn off all the nannies and just,
Smart kid.
you know.
Let's
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
my daughter. Like, she's the one that always looks in the garage, just like, the black car over there, the Porsche, like, I can work on that when I'm older, right? Yeah, yes, you can.
Oh no, there's gonna be plenty of work for her to do.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a lot. I'm saving it all for her.
The Cedric right now has the main focus, and then
Yeah.
everything else got
drive
pushed
it.
to
I
the
can
back
drive
burner.
the Cedric, but yeah,
Yes,
that's,
don't worry, that car will still be there.
Yeah, I still. All right, so really funny. You're gonna laugh at this. I still remember when this guy ended up picking up that freaking 944 Porsche. He had everything to put the motor together and to put it, dude. He had
It's gonna
everything,
explode. You know it's
dude.
gonna explode.
Yeah,
You
well,
bought it knowing it's gonna explode.
well,
We don't know
the-
because
the
it's never been
engine-
put back together.
The engine,
Exactly.
the engine was already out.
So
when
it
I
has
bought
already been exploded.
no, I bought stronger.
No.
I bought stronger crank bolts this time. It's
No,
gonna
so
work.
luckily he actually bought that one here local, and we went to go pick it up, and he had totes of literally engine parts to put it back together, and we started to. And then he texted one day, he's like, yeah, I just ended up selling the motor. I'm gonna buy a 5-cylinder Audi engine.
Let's LS swap it.
And I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that.
so
I'm
I
gonna-
did-
I'm gonna
I
redo
did-
all the suspension.
Hold on.
Did LS
I
swap it.
completed the
Hold on.
rebuild of the factory engine, and
You
I
did.
sold it, knowing that I was going to engine swap it for something totally different. So
Hold on. Just so that the viewers are aware, because I don't think we've actually fully addressed this. How long have you owned that Porsche for?
as long as my daughter's been alive, so like 6 years. About 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
6 years later, and it's still a project car.
I'll have you know the AC's only been broken in my Miata, which runs, by the way, for 2. So
I just want to add that I have 2 perfectly running cars.
I
no
now
issues
do
at
as
all.
well, sir.
Minus the clubs, the clutch slippage.
slippage.
But you know what? It's not really slipping all that much.
Until it slips.
Until it slips.
Until it
Until you're
slips.
launching it on a drag
Until you
strip.
need it.
And then that's the
Right.
only thing it does is slips.
Right.
So on a prepped track.
My
But-
my
What's-
two running cars work perfectly fine.
But
Just saying. The
All right,
third is a
but-
question.
I've got
both my
a-
cars run. That's all I'm saying.
So we've gone on a lot of tangents, but I'm gonna do a very provocative question. I know you and I off camera started talking about this a little bit. Corey,
Let's do Corey first. Let's do Corey first.
You're gonna be the interested one. This is gonna be for the group. I'm not gonna ask single-handedly, but
We're drinking now, so.
Is this my question? Number 9?
no, we're going off script. This is just me and Garrett talking.
I will name your employers.
Okay. Well,
So
let's just,
we're gonna go manufacturer versus manufacturer. Ferrari versus Lamborghini. Pick.
Fuck.
Yeah?
Probably Ferrari. Just seems a little smoother, classier. I've never driven either. I don't know. I don't have any experience with these vehicles, but just the smooth, beautiful Ferraris call to me more than the
Okay.
outlandish Lambos.
Okay. All right.
Good answer.
fair,
Good answer.
Fair.
Actually, I want to go last because I want to give my input at the end. So you guys can go ahead. Actually, Garrett, go ahead first.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll go opposite sides.
Yeah.
I already know what this guy's gonna pick. 'cause
No
we've already
question in my
talked about
mind. No debate. Ferrari. All day,
Why?
every day. Lamborghini to me, it's more about how outlandish you can be. And I just look at Ferrari, I look at the history of it. I've been fortunate enough to go to the Ferrari Museum and Manufacturing Facility in Maranello. If you ever get a chance to go there. There's an Enzo Ferrari Museum in Modena, and they have an entire room just dedicated to engines. And as far as I'm aware, they're one of the few manufacturers left in Europe that cast their own blocks.
Yes.
It's just, you go there, it's just the history, everything. I'm taking Ferrari hands down.
Okay.
Hands down.
So if we're gonna kind of keep going this clockwise, I'll kind of jump in there. So, and this is just kind of how I was raised, right? Because when my father's still in the car industry all the way through multiple generations, my dad always told me that Ferrari were race cars, Lamborghini were fancy sports cars. Now, things I think in the last decade and a half have changed in a sense. Lambo's jumped heavy into racing, but, and this is going to go, I know, against Mike, at the end of the day, and I'll tell you what, this is going to sound crazy for a dream Ferrari, but I would pick Ferrari, and I've always wanted an early 90s 512 TR Testarossa. Like, just always been my dream. A gated manual transmission Testarossa. It's like always been a dream car for me. They used to be affordable. They no longer are, so I would also, though, however, choose at the end of the day, as an Italian, Ferrari. It was kind of my end of the day choice. Money, no option, didn't matter. I could buy whatever the hell I wanted. Ferrari, the namesake, the heritage, Now, if I wanted a tractor, I would buy a Lamborghini. little Jeremy Clarkson action right there.
Ouch. My turn now. Everybody said Ferrari so far. I'm gonna be the exception.
We
I'm gonna go
knew where this was
Lambo.
going. We knew.
We've talked about this on the podcast before. I am a huge Lamborghini fan.
Spell
to your point.
The H. Where's the H go, right?
to your point, and granted, like Corey said, I'm never, current state of mind, I'm never gonna be able to afford either of these cars. so
We're
it's
gonna
all
we're gonna
speculation.
fix that eventually.
We're gonna fix that eventually. But as of right now, like to your point, Nick, started off as a tractor company.
Yeah.
And they, and they've grown, but they have gotten so heavily involved in motorsports.
They have.
Their cars now. They went from just being that iconic looking poster in a
The Countach, Diablo.
absolutely the Countach and Diablo. Their early years like that. That was just a wall.
epic.
Even their
Epic.
original SUV, the LP4.
The LP002,
whatever
I think
it was.
Yeah,
Like
epic
just
cars.
iconic like poster child things. Like when you're a kid, you just want to look at it. But now they're like actual drivers' cars, and their V10s are phenomenal. Their V12s
They've
are
come a
phenomenal.
long way, massively.
They
long
still are very outlandish looking, but there's just something that just strikes me about that. Like if I had all the money in the world, I don't think that I would have like this entire fleet of all these different supercars, but I know I would have to have a Lamborghini. I know I would have to.
If I was gonna buy a Lamborghini today, I think I would buy a tractor.
Yeah.
There we go. See, it's not just me. I'm not alone.
I mean, that Lamborghini
But-
tractor would be badass.
It would
I will
be.
tell you, but, like,
But to
so
your point,
and I will say, like Ferrari is a phenomenal car brand. But it's Italy versus Italy, right?
Yeah.
And Ferrari has a lot of heritage, but at the same time, like I'm also for the underdog in a lot of ways. And I
all
gotta
this being
say
said,
that,
and we've never mentioned it, I have to point out I have a daughter and a son. My son's middle name, purposefully, is Enzo. For Enzo
It is.
Ferrari.
It
so I've got a
so
bit
it's
of a.
obvious who your dedication.
Yeah, he
is,
was
but-
named. His
I
middle name
gotta
is a
go. I
namesake
gotta go
for
Lambo.
Enzo Ferrari.
I gotta go Lambo. Like it used to just be that iconic car, but now you have the Gallardo. You've had the Centenario. You've had the Aventador. You've had all these ridiculously crazy cars, but now they are also heavily involved with motorsports, endurance racing, and their V10, which is also in the Audis, same engine as in the Audi R8.
Yep.
It is a proven platform, and you know
It's an
they're-
Audi engine.
It's
Right,
an engine.
exactly. And
So
and
they're up there.
Yeah.
They're
And
up
before we jump to Eric, I will point out my son's middle name. The battle was between Enzo and Senna. So it was either going to be McLaren leaning Ayrton Senna or Enzo Ferrari, and we wanted the Enzo
I feel
ultimately
like
for
that's
the
a
Italian
topic.
flair.
I feel like that's a topic for another podcast.
That could be, yeah. Enzo won.
All right.
Yeah,
Enzo
but
We're waiting on, and Lambo's already losing because I'm
Yeah.
the only one holding it up. But
did you have something to say first before I jumped into it?
The caveat I was gonna make is that the new Corvette looks like a Ferrari, so
It
I
does.
fucking hate that.
Not a fan of the mid-engine.
I don't disagree with
Love
that.
it for performance
What I'm hearing
and
is
all that, but
the
I hate-
SF90 is not your choice.
I hate that it's like a direct fucking copy.
I
Well,
don't.
you know, it's funny enough. Corvette, for the longest time, has tried to make a mid-engine car.
They have.
They've been talking about it since what the
ZR1
60s,
Zora.
70s.
Well, the ZR1 Zora, they had a
The
concept
Zora.
back in
The Zora.
in like 88, 90, somewhere in
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
But
called
anyway,
the Zora.
Eric, I'm leaning on you, bro.
Oh, is that
I
right?
feel
No,
like
it's
I'm gonna.
just a fucking Corvette.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric, you are the
So
deciding factor, buddy.
it is actually very hard to choose between Ferrari and Lamborghini, but I feel like to everybody's point, Ferrari does have a very, very good heritage when it comes to like racing and actually having good sports cars.
Except when they were beat by Ford.
Yeah, well, that's
The GT is
that's
a freak of nature.
That's a
let's be
different
real.
kind of
But
like,
Ford
yeah.
beat them.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
okay,
our-
listen, take it easy there, sir.
yeah.
Yeah, that
You're
means
like-
they beat everyone.
Oh, that's heritage.
They didn't just beat Ferrari.
Yeah.
They beat everyone.
But they have like a long-standing history with like endurance racing, Formula One, which I love Formula One, especially with today's craziness freaking season. But anyway, that's a different conversation. But Lamborghini, how they started has been great. Like it's kind of like a crazy story how like they kind of, you know, the owner of Lamborghini he bought a car and he went up to Enzo Ferrari and he's like, hey, like I've got some ideas for you, like for how to actually improve your cars. And then Enzo Ferrari pretty much told him to go fuck himself. And then he's like, hey, I'm going to go build my own car then and fix the issues that you're having.
And that's
As the
epic
builder,
background.
as
Epic.
the
Yeah.
background.
Maker, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty much like, oh, you think you can do it? Watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and also I've driven both a Lamborghini and a Ferrari, which we've actually done it once, and I actually kind of did a little bit of work for them, which was, what was it called? Exotic car experience?
Is that because I did the
Oh no!
I did the
Velocity
Ferrari.
driving.
Velocity
yeah.
driving
Yeah,
experience.
so I
That was
actually-
for my birthday.
Yeah, I was fortunate to actually be able to kind of like work for them for 1 year for like one event here in Fort Myers, because they have their events at the Lee Civic Center, and they let me drive their Lamborghini Murcielago they had at that point in time, and they had a Ferrari
No, it was
California.
Gallardo.
The Gallardo. Yeah,
Gallardo.
thank you.
Not
And-
quite
and-
as badass, but
yeah.
still badass.
yeah,
Still
but-
badass.
Yeah, and they had a California too, which here's the thing, I enjoy driving both. So I'm kind of torn because the California was a very great GT cruiser, but the Gallardo was just straight raw power. Like that was the one car, and granted,
That's the one that I drove, and I
Yeah.
loved it.
And-
It was so much fun.
and here's the thing, there's only been 2 moments in my life where I was like, holy fuck. One of them was, I was driving with a buddy of mine he was crazy as how I was in the passenger seat. He made me hold the old shit bar for the first time ever. But the second time was with that Gallardo, and it made me say, holy shit, when I drove it. So because of that, I can appreciate both manufacturers, even though we've had our inputs about Ferrari in the past. I would rather choose a Lamborghini.
My man.
Okay.
Yes.
I
Team
would rather
Lambo.
I would
We're
rather
still
choose a
lost,
Lamborghini.
but,
Holy fuck.
Well, no,
respect.
because Corey was going Lambo too, right?
No, he said
Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Oh, you ultimately still
Ferrari,
Ferrari.
So,
Ferrari.
like, and that's the
I like that.
thing is, like, you know, very, very early on, Lambos were just, it was bananas. Way too much power.
Yeah.
The chassis didn't line up. Like, it was
Well, for
crazy
them for
to
so
drive
long,
it.
they were loud, they were obnoxious, and then the Murcielago came out. It was like, wow, what the fuck, dude? With the little bat wings that came out, because Murcielago was
Well,
like
and then,
that.
you know
Like
what,
so, when the
like,
bat wings
think-
came out on the side and stuff, and that thing was just ripping. Like it was like, holy shit.
Well, and think about, like, you know, I don't know, we could go, Ferrari's got so many models now, too, but, like,
I don't even know what the current ones are.
I-
honestly,
SF90 was the
So-
last one
yeah.
that I really paid attention
Yeah,
to.
so I don't know if you guys Corey, I know that you kind of did like some research, but like I was actually at the Miami Concourse a few weeks ago. At this point, it's probably 3 weeks ago. They had so many Ferraris there, and it was probably by far one of my favorite events. So you guys being like Ferrari fans,
It's our beer customers on the East Coast is those big car guys.
are they?
Yeah.
Dude, I would highly recommend you guys to go to the Miami Concourse. I mean, like, not to knock Cars on Fifth, it is a great event, but comparing event to event and the
Yeah, I
quality
listened
of
to
cars.
I listened to that
It's a
episode.
different market.
Oh my God, yeah. So you guys would appreciate the Miami Concourse because they had so many types of cars. They had Testarossas, they had a couple of F40s.
The
I'd be blown away
Paganis.
that there's just as many cars sitting around in garages in Naples.
Oh,
as
yeah.
There is in Miami, but
Yes.
Wow.
in Miami they're out there and
Extra extreme.
Exactly.
They're extra
Yeah.
extreme out there.
going for it.
It's like we've
Yeah.
talked about. I mean, the difference between like Naples and Miami is like Naples is very rich.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of money there.
Yeah.
But like Miami is international rich.
International
Yeah.
rich.
So there
That's
is
like-
just
like-
there's otherworldly money over there.
Like
and it's,
I've had through the Velocity thing, I've had a chance to drive a 488. I think they had there. Great car. Through my personal career, I had a guy pull up a year and a half ago, who's selling us a car. He's like, "Hey, I'll bring something fun for you to drive the next day." He pulls up in a McLaren 720. So I got to go rip this thing in the rain of all things.
Was that a
Just rip it.
720
It was a
you drove?
720S, yeah. And it was like, it was absolutely epic. Now this guy is a huge fanatic. His name's Bill, awesome guy. And he just took, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, he just took delivery of his Lambo Huracan
Revolto.
Technica
Oh, okay.
from Italy directly. Flew over there, took delivery there. They did the whole, like, you know, the whole sheet off the car delivery thing in their factory. Now he now has a Huracan Evo, a Huracan Technica, and a Huracan STO, which are basically their top 3 performance cars. Plus multiple TRXs, a Viper, a ACR. Like, the guy's awesome.
Right there, and
Yeah,
I
so,
see that.
he has absolutely superb taste in cars. But I've gotten to drive all his stuff. I got to drive even his TRX for an appraisal purposes when we wanted to trade it. The only thing I haven't gotten to drive, honestly, is a modern Lambo. I have not driven a Huracan of any type. So I keep telling them, dude, bring the STO down here, bring the Technica down to Florida, get out of New York, bring them down here, let me drive one of these things. But I mean, I'm sure they're absolutely epic pieces of machinery, but I haven't gotten to drive a modern Lambo, like a recent last 5-year Lambo. So it's one of those things on my list I'd love to do, respectfully, obviously. But yeah, it's just I'm sure they're amazing pieces of machinery, but I was just
Going down the
raised
road,
very
I can say,
traditionally.
Lambo.
Yeah.
Is that a Rari or is that a Vet?
Yeah, no, the whole new vet thing, but at the same time, man, you mentioned the vet. Oh my
the new
God,
Corvettes
is it?
are keeping up with everything else
It
on
is.
racetracks. So
From a cost perspective and the fact that it's General Motors, it is a phenomenal vehicle. Like it is.
Great value for money.
Like we've gotten a chance. I know me and Eric have gotten a chance to ride in one of the passenger seat on autocross course with Craig.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit!
Okay,
what this car can do is absolutely insane.
and that's just a base.
And
So-
it almost makes me
right?
feel uncomfortable being this thing because it's so raw and it's
So,
just like, as a passenger not in control, it's like, oh my God, what the hell's about to happen? Like,
Yeah.
oof.
I do want to say,
No, he's a phenomenal driver, the guy that owns the car. Like, he's batshit crazy and like on rails. Like he drives like a professional race car driver.
oh yeah,
so.
it was funny as hell because like I mean we're coming up to like an hour and a half at this point to the podcast.
I know, right?
But so real quick, Craig he's an instructor for Golf Coast Autocrossers.
Yeah.
I should have actually mentioned them like when we were talking about the tracks and stuff, but the dude is crazy. Like so he has so my generation Corvette is considered the C6 chassis, right? So he has a Z06.
Two.
And then, no, does he have two?
He's got two of them.
He might have two.
Yeah, he had.
But he also has like the new C8 Corvette, but he's got the Stingray or the base model version. Dude, him and his daughter.
The Z51, I think. So like that, just that slight step up. Yeah.
So him and his daughter are freaking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Somehow,
she's nuts too.
somehow his daughter is faster than him in this
Yeah.
car. But
It's a weight difference. It's a weight savings.
it is. So
He's a big dude. He's like our size. Like he's a big guy.
Well, he's like his size.
Younger people don't know any better either. So
Yeah.
That was the wall, man.
Just throwing it.
Yeah, but I still have footage like actually on my phone.
Oh, here's $100,000.
Well, I mean, he bought the car, so like his daughter can probably crash it, but she won't
Sorry,
care.
Dad.
Yeah, sorry.
My bad.
But it's crazy. So like the last time we were actually at the autocross, have you actually ever gone to Golf Coast Autocrossers?
Not here,
Garret?
no.
You should. It's a lot of fun. It's a blast.
Buckingham.
Yeah, it's in Buckingham in Lehigh.
Sadly, they don't let SUVs run for some weird reason, so like you and I would be out of luck. But it's,
Yeah.
for watching it, it's pretty fun to watch these guys get out there.
Yeah, but anyways, just to kind of wrap this up, me and Nick were fortunate to actually get a ride like in his Corvette, and dude, I have it recorded on my phone. I'll probably end up posting it like on our channel. The dude's crazy fast. Like he's insane. Like it's like he's driving that car on rails, and in a stupidly fast manner. I think I have like 2 runs recorded. But anyways, like the guy is fast, and he drove my car, and he's like, "Yeah, you need new tires. Like this thing's sliding everywhere." Mind you, he kept the car like he completely disabled every traction control or every traction mode possible, and he was maintaining traction the whole time. He's like, "Yeah, your tires are like not keeping traction." I'm like, "You're driving this car faster than I can, and you're complaining about traction."
That's what that's what happens when you like.
It was crazy.
That's what you do regularly. You
Yeah.
know
Oh,
what
I know.
mean? Like, it's just like doing anything else.
Yeah.
You practice enough, you're gonna get good at whatever it is you're doing. So
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, and on that note, thank you guys for having us here on
Yeah,
the
we
Labelle Brewing
appreciate it.
Company.
Really, we do.
I have to admit, I've enjoyed every single beer that you guys have shared with us here today.
Everyone.
I have to come back, especially since I'm 20 minutes away. So
You have no excuse. You're closer than me.
I don't have an excuse. Yeah, I don't have an excuse.
There's a good chance you're gonna see my wife and my children here for some food and some beer because she'll love this place. I mean, you'll probably see
Yeah.
us here in the near future.
Yeah, and your beers are phenomenal. The food's phenomenal as well. So you guys will definitely see me back here as like a returning customer. But
Well, thank
Yeah.
y'all for having us.
yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for drinking some beers.
Yeah. So don't forget to savor your brews, hit the road responsibly, and cheers to booze and cars.
Cheers, and we'll
And
see,
we'll catch you guys on the
we'll
next
see
episode.
everybody in
Yeah,
Sebring.
yeah. We'll see you in
see you
Sebring
Sebring.
next week.
Yes.
cheers, folks.
Cheers.